Hi everyone, my name is Oliver and I'm an English teacher. I've been teaching English for about 10 years now. I've taught in different schools, abroad, in different countries, but also in the United States. And one passion that I have is learning languages. I love learning new languages and dabbling in new ones and finding out what the difference between this language is and this language and how they're similar and how they're different. So today I want to talk to you about how to learn a language. So obviously learning a language is a very rewarding experience. It opens the doors to a lot of different cultures and you can improve communication and your cognitive abilities. You can think better when you learn a new language. But it's not easy. It's actually really hard to learn a new language, especially if you don't have the kinds of... Some people are naturally better at learning a language, whereas other people, it takes a lot more time and a lot more effort. So fluency demands a sort of dedication every day and just very effective memorization techniques. So there's different techniques that you can use in order to memorize a word. Maybe if a word sounds similar to a word in your own native language, you can somehow use your mind to connect those two things. There is no one-size-fits-all approach. So let's go ahead and talk about some of the methods that you can use to learn a new language. And by the way, I'm learning my sixth language right now. So I'm pretty good at English, obviously. Spanish, French, Albanian, and Hebrew. These are ones that I'm trying to practice every day. And right now I'm learning Chinese. So Chinese is a very difficult language. But one of the ways you can learn a language is immersing yourself in the language for a very authentic sort of experience. If you want to speak the authentic way of how that language is spoken in its home country, then I suggest you try and maybe get a job, an English teaching job in another country. You can go there for a year, and in that time you can practice and practice and practice as much as you like. Surround yourself with authentic language materials such as books, TV shows that you have in that country. There's podcasts and music. There's a whole bunch of stuff in the target language that you're learning, but you don't even necessarily have to go to another country in order to learn those things or in order to absorb those things. It's just exposure and exposing yourself to familiar sounds, sentence structures, and the nuances of the language. So this all will help your mind retain a lot of the information that you're gaining on a daily basis. So one of the first steps is consistency. Consistency is something that is essential when it comes to language learning. So every day you need to put aside some time, 30 minutes or an hour, or even if it's like 15 minutes on your way to work when you're driving your car to work, maybe 15 minutes, put on a podcast. The regular practice will help you solidify the grammar concepts and help you solidify the new words that you're hearing every day. Sometimes it goes in one ear and comes out the other. If you listen every day, it is retained in your mind. So repetition of vocabulary words, repetition of grammar exercises, of the conversations that you hear will aid you in transferring that information from short-term memory into long-term memory. Now, one technique that I've learned to gain a lot of new vocabulary words and just be able to memorize them is using mnemonic techniques or flashcards. So flashcards, for example, are an excellent memorization tool. You can memorize vocabulary, you can memorize new, say, grammar rules. What you need to do is create flashcards with the target language on one side and then translate or explain the meaning of that card on the other side. So you can also employ the mnemonics techniques, which is what I said before, associating new words with familiar objects or concepts or images, and mnemonics can make memorization fun and effective. So if you learned a word, for example, uh, like cap, like cap in Albanian means to catch something, the kapush, to catch something. And what I think about is the cap to my bottle of water, the cap. And I think of throwing a cap and then catching the cap in order to memorize that new word. And somehow it just automatically sticks in my brain if I think of the word like that. Next, you need to be engaging with native speakers or people who speak the language. So find yourself a language exchange partner. So that can significantly, that right there, help you improve your language skills. Engaging in new conversations will allow you to apply what you've learned in real life situations. It helps you improve your pronunciation. It helps you just boost your confidence in speaking the language. You won't be shy anymore if you keep on using it with the native speakers that you're meeting with every day in order to practice. There's a lot of different online platforms and online communities that you can find that offer that sort of language exchange. And so you'll have the opportunity to connect with native speakers from all around the world. Just go on Facebook or on, there's a lot of different apps. Hello Talk or something like that might be another one. I might be wrong with that name. Forgive me. So you need to also learn grammar in context. So instead of memorizing new grammar rules just in isolation, like the present simple tense or the past tense or the imperfect tense, whatever, listen to them in a sentence. Repeat that sentence. Learn them in the actual context. So obviously they're used in sentences and text. So when you encounter these new vocabulary words and these new concepts, you should try to use them in various sentences to sort of reinforce your understanding of that word. And this is called contextualized learning. It's an approach that will help you grasp grammar and new words much more naturally, and then you'll be able to remember these words a lot more effectively. Now, another way to learn a language pretty well is to create personalized content. So put your language skills that you have in, say, French or Spanish or whatever language that you're learning into practice. Do this by creating personalized content like journal entries. This is something that I do a lot. I create journals. For example, I write journals often in Hebrew in order to practice my Hebrew. You can write short stories. You can make your social media posts in that target language. That's a really effective way. If you start using social media in the target language, then little by little it will start coming to you, and you'll be able to memorize all these new words that, pertain to social media. So this is an exercise that encourages you to be much more creative, and in that sort of creativity boost, you'll be able to reinforce vocabulary and grammar usage. So it also has a glimpse into the progress that you're making. So say you write in journal entry in January, and then February, and then March, and April, and May and June come. And in July, you're looking at your journal entries, you can see how much you've improved, how much your creativity has gotten better, and how much you're able to express yourself in that language. So the next thing that I would recommend when learning a new language is to find online resources. This is an essential part of learning a language. There's a lot of interactive exercises and quizzes and language games that you can find. And these are all tools that can help the learning process of learning a new language. It makes it much more engaging and enjoyable. And in addition, you'll have a lot of apps that offer spaced repetition. So you'll learn a word, and then it will save that word, and then you keep on going on learning new words, and then that same word will come back to you, and you'll be able, because of spaced repetition, to memorize that word and never forget it. So there are algorithms that they use for this spaced repetition that will help you memorize these words much more effectively. And then you can adapt it to your learning pace. You can optimize your own memory retention, for example. Now, when learning a language, it's very important to practice mindful learning. So mindful learning is something that plays a crucial role in language memorization. You concentrate on the language material that you're learning, and you have no distractions whatsoever. You are there, you are learning the language material by yourself in a quiet space, and you are trying to form meaningful connections between new information and the information that is old, or information that you already know. So you establish those connections. And this is an approach that helps you encode and store the language data much more comfortably in your mind. Okay, I think that's it, but I do want to show you something that I've been working on. For those of you who don't know, I'm practicing like 5 languages almost on a daily basis. Now, I just got this new game. It's called Zelda. And I use my Nintendo Switch in Spanish. This is one of the ways that I learn Spanish, is I play video games in my target language, which is Spanish. Now, at the same time that I'm playing Zelda in Spanish, which is phenomenal, by the way, I take notes. So this is one of the notebooks that I have, and I take notes on every page. As you can see here, I'll write them in Spanish, and then I write it in English, and then afterwards I put it into the languages that I already know or that I'm practicing. For example, I have Spanish here, English here, Albanian, French, and then Hebrew. These are the ways that I learn a new language on a daily basis from my video games each and every day. And so I would say that at the end of the day, I usually go through the page that I've written down from my video game. It doesn't have to be every word, but you write down the words that you don't know. And if you need to put them into context in order to have contextualized information and translate them into the other languages, that's something that works really well with keeping a notebook of the words in the target language that you're trying to learn. So I hope this gives you ideas, and I hope this helps. Again, my name is Oliver. I love learning languages, and I love teaching English. So if you have any questions, go ahead and leave them below in the comments, and I'll try and answer you guys as soon as possible. I hope this helps, and good luck on your language learning journey. So thank you so much, and have a great day. Bye.